Hey, I want to thank you for taking the time to come to our site and fill out our form for some more information. My name is Elliot. I am one of the co-founders of Empirical360, and I'm going to dive into a short presentation here where I give you a company overview and then I talk about our strategy. So bear with me. If you have any questions about this presentation, feel free to email me with any of those questions and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Okay, let's dive in. So I'm going to first tell you about how Empirical360 was born. So right here you can see a picture of a wine glass, or you can probably see it a little bit. When Eric, one of our co-founders, was 16 years old, he was doing website development, and him and my older brother decided to start a wine business. Very random, I know, very strange, but they did it anyway. And one of the first things they did was they hired a big agency out in Tampa, that's where we live. And when they went there, the agency pitched them and they walked them around the office and showed them a bunch of awards and things like that, all their accolades, but they didn't talk about marketing, which should have been a big red flag. And sadly, after $50,000 in retainer fees, they didn't get any sales. So, this is not a great experience for them, but it did lead to Eric taking over the marketing. And when he took over the marketing, the company reached over $100,000 in annual sales, which was pretty good. It was Eric's first marketing experience. And from this, we learned two things. Number one, big agencies are not always better. And number two, we knew exactly who we didn't want to be as an agency. And that's someone who charges outrageous fees, doesn't really drive performance, and locks you into a contract that you're not getting results in and you can't quit. So fast forward a little bit, Eric becomes the marketing director of a large warranty company here in Tampa called Protect My Car, which later actually sold for $250 million. So they did pretty well. And while he was there, I joined him on the marketing team. And one of the things that we did here is we helped secure a $5 million investment from Greg Norman's Great White Shark Investment Group. So from here, we learned three things. We learned how to spend a lot of money and get great results. We learned that data-driven marketing always produces the best results, which is why we named ourselves Empirical360. And the third thing is we couldn't do this for just one company. So this is when Empirical360 was truly born, and these are pictures of me and Eric with some of our large clients. So we've worked with everyone from chiropractors to Aetna and AAA. These are very big companies, but we've really zeroed in on who we like to work with best, and that's attorneys. And one of our core niche is really maximizing businesses through PPC, and that's pay-per-click advertising. We like driving results, we like driving them fast, and that is why it's our core niche. Our core focus is to get better together, and that might sound a little corny, but what that means to us is we're looking for a partnership. We're looking to really engage with our clients, hear how you're doing on a day-to-day basis, get your feedback, give you feedback, and ultimately grow together. So we are looking for a partnership. It's not just set it and forget it marketing and you don't really hear from us and we don't really hear from you. Like I said, we'd like to be engaged with our partners. So why choose us? We are a small team, but we do pride ourselves on being very, very elite. So each one of our ad managers, which are actually me and Eric, have spent over $10 million each in ads. So you're getting a very experienced ad manager on your account, which in a lot of other companies, you get thrown to someone who doesn't have nearly as much experience. The second thing is the only way we win is when you win. And what that means is we do not do contracts. So everything is month to month. If you don't like working with us or we're not driving results, you pretty much fire us. There's no hostage taking, no strings. So when we build out assets for you, they're yours 100%. You own them all the way. If you stop working with us, all those assets go with you. And the last thing is we focus on sales. So everything we do for you is to drive performance. We're not a branding agency. We don't do that. We're very, very focused on what we do, and that is to drive results for your firm. So if you have any questions about that portion, feel free to reach out to me. So next, I'm going to go into our process, and this is a 6-step process, and I'll take you through this one by one. So first in this process is discovery. This is where we have a onboarding call with you with the rest of our team, and we learn about your firm. We learn about individual things that make you unique, any unique angles we can come at it from, whether you specialize in just women's divorce or you specialize in a certain aspect of personal injury that you really want to capitalize on. And that's where we take all that information, we digest it, and then obviously we put that into our marketing campaigns. So next, once we have all that information, we build out the web assets that go along with your campaign. And this could be, just simple landing pages that are very conversion friendly, or if it's one of those, niches that you really want to focus on, in some cases we can build a microsite around that particular niche, whether it's, like military divorce, or it's trucking accidents, or it's business litigation, whatever it may be, we can build a microsite around it. And all of our web development is included in the retainer, so we don't charge extra for this, and these are just web assets as they pertain to ads. So once we've built all these web assets, what we do is called prospecting, and this is just simply bringing in new visitors to the assets that we've just built. And really the key to our success in our prospecting campaigns is segmentation. So I'll show you exactly what that means. So this is a normal campaign structure that a lot of people will run with. You have your budget up here, you have different ad platforms here, Google, Facebook, Bing ads, whatever it may be, and then you have a campaign here, this orange bucket. And what most people will do is they'll take their budget, they'll dump it into this bucket, and at the end, you'll see some sort of result here. You'll see $2,000 spend, 16 phone calls at $125 a piece. Now this is just an example, this is no particular vertical, but what this illustrates is you have a campaign and you get results. So that's great, right? We have something happening here. But now how do you optimize this? How do you pull different levers to maximize your budget? With this structure, it's very, very hard. This is a structure that we use in a lot of cases, and this is one of the most basic structures we use. There are more advanced structures. But what we do is we split by device. So in this same scenario, we have Google, Facebook, Bing, and we've split it by device, mobile, desktop, and tablet. And in this little example here, we have 10 phone calls that have come from mobile at $20 per piece. We have 4 phone calls that have come from desktop, and we have 2 phone calls that have come from tablet. So you can see here, these all have different prices. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why don't we just put all of our money into mobile because it's producing phone calls at $20 a piece? Well, that's exactly what we would do. In our optimized campaign structure, what we would do is we would take our budget, let's say Google was outperforming here, we put it into Google, and we have $10 or 10 phone calls at $20 per piece in that example. And what that yields at the end of this is instead of 16 phone calls like we had before, we now have 100 phone calls at $20 per phone call. So this is what an optimization scheme looks like, and this is an iterative process that we go through with our clients. So now that we've brought in all this prospecting traffic and some of it's converting and some of it's not, we like to re-engage with this traffic. And this is the best example is when you go to Amazon.com and you look at a product and they follow you around for 30 days and you see that product everywhere. That's exactly what we want to do for you. So when we bring traffic to your site, sadly only 20 to 30% of that traffic is going to convert to a lead. Now that other 70% may just die if you're not remarketing, or if you're remarketing by putting a Facebook pixel or Google tag on your site, you now have the ability and permission to follow these users around and hopefully have them re-engage with your brand. So this really helps us bring lead costs down and help people come back and re-engage with you to hopefully become a client. So now that we've done all that, we're advertising, we're getting leads, the campaigns are flowing. Now we need to analyze these results. So what we do is we like to have weekly meetings with you and talk to whoever it is, whether it's you or an intake person, and really assess the quality of the leads. So which leads are great and which leads aren't. We take that information and we try and weed out the traffic that's bringing in the bad leads, and we try and really push our budget into what's bringing in the good leads. And this is where we really get big wins for our clients. So what we do with this information is we layer it on top of your marketing campaigns, and we can see exactly which campaigns are bringing you clients. And so you can see here, we have the same structure, and we can see that mobile has brought 5 cases, desktop has brought 2, and tablet 0. And in this case, we would do the same thing we do before. We just push our budget into what's performing. So if you have questions about this process, or you want to learn more about our pricing and things like that, what a good budget for you is, feel free to reach out, schedule a call with me at the link below, and I'll be more than happy to tell you in detail how this process works or how it can work for you. So more questions, feel free to book a call.